I have to share two thoughts today before I leave. Um, the one thought, the thought I'm going to present now, is a movie reference, and it is a biblical lesson. Um, we were, we've been watching Lord of the Rings. We're in the Two Towers right now. We're right before the battle for Helm's Deep, and there's an interesting scene that I never thought about that's very important. Um, and it's a great discussion topic that I present to you, and you figure it out, because I think about it constantly, and I still I don't know. But anyway, there's a scene where Sean Astin is yelling at Gollum, played by Andy Serkis, and he yells, "Hey, stinker, don't get too far ahead." You know, the hobbits they're being led through the wilderness by this little monster named Gollum. And then Elijah Wood, playing Frodo, he responds to Sam and he says, "Why do you call him names? Why do you always put him down?" You know, because he called him Stinker. "Hey, Stinker!" And Sean Astin responds and says, "Because that's what he is, Mr. Frodo." There's nothing but lies and deceit in him. All he wants is the ring, and he'll do whatever it takes to get that. And then Frodo responds, it's the liberal response. You know, it's, "How do you know that? What do you know, you fat piece of, you Trump supporting bigot, racist, hateful? You have no idea. Gollum can redeem himself. He's such a good little Gollum, Smeagol. Smeagol!" It's such a good lesson, because Sam is actually the example of the Christian that I want to be. You know what Sam is using? He's using discernment. And actually, before I started making these encounter videos, I also encountered a reference specifically in this authorized King James here for the scene when Jacob is, or not Jacob, Isaac is handing over the birthright, right? That ridiculous scene when Jacob comes in and he's wearing, you know, like hairy gloves, and he's got a hairy fake beard and everything, and he probably, you know, it's kind of a ridiculous, unbelievable scene. But, you know, I don't put all the blame on Rachel, or not Rachel, Rebecca. I don't put all the blame on her. I don't put all the blame on Jacob himself, you know, for what happens in that scene, for him stealing the birthright, or stealing the blessing. The birthright was already tricked out with the bowl of soup, but the bottom line of that scene, and they use the word discernment, I believe, in this authorized King James, this read-through, you know. I've just been reading it through to you, but I think they specifically use that word, discernment. And that's you know, that's why I partially, you have to put a lot of the blame on Isaac himself, you know. There's not much story told about Isaac. You know, it's almost like he got Abraham's blessing, and then he sat on his butt, and, you know, that's about it. And then he has an encounter with another Abimelech, right? I think. And he makes the same mistake his father made. Um, there's not much talked about Isaac, but you know what's said right there? He didn't have discernment in that scene. And I think discernment is something that the real Christian today should have. You know, a lot of Christians today will do exactly in that scene. They'll do the exact same thing. They'll make you feel so bad when you know right away that this guy, there's something wrong with this guy, or this guy is dangerous. This whole situation is dangerous. You know, you have discernment right away. I have discernment every day at my job. There's lowlifes all around me. They're just robbing us blind, and I know exactly who's robbing us, you know. I know right away! But I can't do anything about it. I'm not allowed to do anything about it. I think God has appointed me to be there just to observe the self-destruction of all humanity. It's all symbolized there, you know. He's just appointed me to observe it and report it, record it. I'm not allowed to do anything. You could put a Marine right in front of that door and go to town because there's so many people stealing. It's ridiculous. But hey, nothing is going on yet, so I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen. A Marine put in front of the door or in the store itself. They'll stop stealing pretty quick. But anyway, like my friend is a good example of that, calling me a racist, calling me a bigot. He's a big liberal, thinks he's so smart, he's ascended the intelligence level, he's ascended his brilliance beyond my pathetic peasantry, right? I'm a pathetic peasant with my pathetic Bible. I mean, what is this pathetic book? My knowledge transcends this book. Ha ha! That's my friend. Maybe. Previous friend, I guess. At one time, he was my friend. I don't know now after what I just said, but he'll do that to you. He'll respond with that, you know. You know right away, that's a stinker, Mr. Frodo. But he'll respond with, why do you do that? You calling him names. How dare you do that? You're so hateful. Don't you judge him. Don't you judge him. And Sam is actually the picture of what a real Christian should be. He knows, you know, we are not supposed to judge. But if you know pretty quick that maybe he's hiding a gun under his shirt or a knife or something, you know, you just know it. You feel it. You look at his eyes. You see, this guy's effing nuts. You know, most of these liberal idiots, like, oh, come on in. Come on in. It's like a serial killer. They're like, see, if I don't invite him in, then I'll be seen as hateful and a bigot and a racist. And he comes in and he kills your whole family. He rapes your wife, and then he tortures you to death. You know? That's what's coming. Nobody has discernment today. Most of these Christians today don't have discernment. It's a very good lesson that Sam is presenting to us. Sam has discernment, and he knows that Gollum is going to betray them. You know, Gollum, yeah. So that's the main lesson that I wanted to present with that, with discernment. But also you can look at Gollum himself and look at the battle going on. There's a demon inside of Smeagol. Smeagol is his original name. He was originally a hobbit. But over the course of time and the corruption of evil and the corruption of the ring, he lets this demon, this alternate personality inside of him that makes him pure evil, basically, in the form of Gollum. But then you go back to Bilbo's mercy. He could have just chopped his head off right there. But he didn't. So then it gives weight to the liberal argument making you think, well, if Sam knows he's going to betray him, why doesn't Sam just behead him right there? And if he had beheaded him, then Frodo would have put the ring on, and then they would have failed in their objective. It's because of that mercy that Gollum ends up biting that finger off and getting the ring. But then Sam pushes him in, right? Or is it Frodo who pushes him in? I think it's Frodo who pushes him into the lava. So, I don't know. There's a lot to think about with the whole thing. But I like Sam's thinking, He has discernment. He hasn't necessarily treated Gollum badly yet. I mean, he has a little bit, but as far as where I am in the movie later on, it changes. But he has discernment right away. He's like, I don't trust you, stinker. And I think Christians today, there's too little, there's too much blindness today. There's evil right on your doorstep, and come on in. Otherwise, I'll be considered hateful. Otherwise, I'll be a racist. So, good lesson, huh? Discernment. Is it also a picture of how Christianity or how belief in God gets lazy as you get old? With Isaac, that example. He should have had discernment. He should have known that it was Jacob. That should have shut down the whole situation. Of course, Jacob would have gotten the blessing anyway, in my opinion. Esau would have gone off and had sex with 100 Canaanitish women, That's what he was already doing. He probably would have done that tenfold, and he would have just, I don't want my blessing. Oh, I'm just take my bow and arrow and run off, And Jacob would have gotten it anyway, So, but I think he should have still had discernment, and we need discernment today. Be on your guard. I'm not saying judge everyone and, go to the nth degree of, just hating everybody, but I think you should know pretty quick, this guy's a killer. I should keep my distance at the very least, But no, let's hug him! Okay, sorry. Thank you for listening. Have a blessed day.